everyone, and welcome back to the Yudias video on the channel. Episode 63 of Go Rush just came out, and oh my goodness, what is happening? Wait, before I jump in, spoiler warning. Okay, so again, oh my goodness, what is happening? As predicted, this episode was insane, but it wasn't the insane I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to tell us who was in this rocket, and it didn't. But there's a reason for that. And the reason is that we're back in the Go Rush time period. I thought it was going to give us one more episode in the Sevens world, and they'd tell us who was in the rocket, and then the Odos would come back to the Go Rush time period, final battle with Phaser. Dylan thinks that too. Or, well, that they were going to go back to the final battle for Phaser anyway. But we're back in the Go Rush time period, so obviously it's not going to tell us who's in the rocket yet. We start the episode with the scene from episode 60 of Run and Damu taking off with the Odo's cards. We are picking off exactly where episode 60 left off. And we actually continue with this plotline. And Run, Damu, they Energy Kopiko ends up chasing after them because of Phaser sending her after them, along with a squadron of MIK members. But they escape, and then we cut back to Yudias. Phaser attempts to convince Yudias to join his side by basically threatening to kill all the aliens, and making Yudias think that everything was his own fault. Yudias does seem to think that it's his fault for a little while. To which I'm like, Zuijo, please show up now. Clearly Yudias needs you. But Yudias does end up snapping out of it without Zuijo's help. Also, Phaser says this? It's not ancient China, dude. Mandate of heaven? Really? And I don't think that means what you appear to think it means. Also, how do you know there were 8.88 million people in there? Did Manabu tell you? Is that what's going on here? But the reason Yudias snaps out of it is that Damu communicates with him and tells him that Ron figured out that carding isn't permanent, so they can turn the others back. And also, Yudias' eyes turn red for a minute like Damu's controlling him, but they're not. They're just communicating with him. And his eye turned back to normal after a minute when he transforms into his Vulgarian form, so okay. Oh, wait, they're like inside him. Ron says that Nyanda is proof of being carding, not being permanent, and that she may be an example of someone who's been turned back, so not sure if that's actually true, but anyway, Zuijo is finally back. I was correct, he wasn't still in Mutsuba Town. We don't know where he's been for the last 5 episodes, but at least he's back now. Also, I'm slightly annoyed because he's been MIA for 5 episodes. He comes back, doesn't say a word. No interaction between him and Yudias. The two of them don't even acknowledge that the other one's standing there. So I'm slightly annoyed about that. They better give us something next episode. Anyway, the duel starts and Phaser, for once, doesn't get out of first turn maximum, but Yudias does. More first turn maximums, people! At least it's Yudias this time. Not Phaser. So Yudias has field advantage. For that one turn, because Phaser of course gets out his maximum on his second turn. One of them anyway. Remember, he still has that second one. And who knows, he might have a third. At this point, we have no idea what Phaser is going to do. He surprised us all, surprised us with the second one, surprised us with the way he's acting in this episode as comparison to the other episodes. Phaser, at this point, we don't know what he's going to do. Also, I noticed Yudias and Phaser both summon monsters with really long summon chants and or summoning animations, so y'all can have a look at that.
Advance Shokan! 生命は古海の底に湧いたとも聞く。 名残か我ら母の海の中に生まれるアビスの夢、それは果たしていでよアビスレイヤーアプサル響け、これが黒曜石の地図よりいでし銀河の鉄道、無限の軌道を突き進み走る超マッチップマキシマム召喚超魔起動マグナムオーバーロード、わだつの底一層の深淵へ続く扉、放たれし時アビスの運命果たしてマキシマム召喚、いでよ深淵海流アビスクラーケン。
Unfortunately, when Yudias dealt damage to Phaser, Phaser decided to shoot some of the captured aliens into space in a rocket, and then when Phaser dealt damage to Yudias, Phaser decided to release some of the aliens into the middle of town and attempted to cause an anti-alien riot. After being warned of this by the pigeon that I don't remember the name of, the UTS adults decided to go down into town and try and stop the panic. Thankfully, though, when they got there, no one's freaking out or hating aliens, and they were getting along fine and having fun together. So, thank goodness for that, at least. We cut back to the Zeta Velkyar, which is Zuijo's spaceship, in case you forgot, and we learn that Dano and Muta don't actually know what's in the package Zuijo sent them to pick up. Then Shibaha shows up and starts towing them. Okay, I gotta let you guys see this for yourselves.
一体どんな荷物なんだ？知らん。知らんって。来た！あれが宇宙宅配便。
シューバッハ号よ。あ、ちょっと近づきすぎじゃない？やった！やった
Cutting back to the duel, Phaser activates an equip spell, and what did you do to your monster, dude? You covered up all his heads with drills! It can't see! We get a little more on Phaser and Tremolo's backstory. Tremolo is completely devoted to his brother, which we already knew, and it's inferred that their parents died when they were young, which I already predicted that their parents were dead. We do learn that after that event, Phaser promised to protect Tremolo, and that Tremolo is not only devoted to Phaser, but also has complete faith in him, as is completely fine with Phaser locking him up. Which, we already knew that he was completely fine with being locked up. We knew that from episode 59. Also, the Skyfish is just sitting in the jail cell with Tremolo. Can't it just slip through the bars? It's a Skyfish, and they're tiny. To be fair, Tremolo would probably recapture it immediately, most likely before it even got out of the cell, but still. Although, who knows, maybe it tried and we didn't get to see that. Cutting back to the duel again, Phaser reveals that his monster can attack twice in one turn thanks to the equip spell. But Yudias managed to save the rest of his life points by using his trap to summon Transmu Rhynak in defense mode. Which, Abyss Croc thankfully doesn't have piercing. That would have been really bad if it did. The Zeta Velkyar and Shibaha then arrive with the giant package, and they manage to save the Jersey aliens as well. Zuijo finally arrives on the roof and opens the package. And we got to find out what's inside. Or should I say, who's inside? Because it's Duty Nisha. Nisha generates the Dudimo space, which is the time-freezing space they generate for them to think in because they can't decide on anything. Also, Phaser seems to recognize it, so when exactly did they encounter this before? Well, I suppose it makes sense that he'd know about it if it causes what's about to happen. Anyway, we have literally zero interaction between Yudias and Zuijo in this entire episode. Which, come on! Zuijo's been MIA for like 5 episodes, and you don't have him say anything to Yudias when he comes back? Oh well, at least you have confirmation that he's in the next episode. And then Phaser seems to be reacting to the duty mode space, and either summons or transforms into a giant dragon. I don't know which one. I think maybe this wasn't part of Zuijo's plan. And why did he get Duty Nisha? What is his plan in the first place? And then the episode ends. Are you kidding me? That did not feel like 20 minutes, and that was insane. At least this is tying back to the kind of foreshadowing from the dragon mural in Phaser's house. So, is Tremolo also a dragon? And also, what is happening? I'm going to cut myself off right there because otherwise it's going to be another 10.5 minutes of me freaking out. But I do want to mention one last thing. Rovian's still MIA. We don't know where she is. And this is the beginning of the final battle against Phaser. We are in episode 12 of season 2, and season 1 had 51 episodes. We still have a lot more episodes left in the season, so the creator is definitely going to show up and be the final villain of the show. But hopefully we get more backstory in the Ryugus first, because Phaser just turned into a dragon! So that wraps up episode 63. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Have a great day everyone, and I'll see you next time for another Yu-Gi-Oh video.